Good morning everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel on this beautiful Saturday morning and the sun is shining. So I'm popping by, as I always do with every release, just to go through my new stamp release. Now these stamps and stencils will be available just after midnight tonight. I should be ready then. So they'll be on the website just after midnight tonight. And there are 5 stamps and 7 snippet stencils. The stamps are sold in a bundle of 5 stamps and the bundle price is something like £47.95. So I've tried to keep the price down and not bring out too many stamps in one go so that the bundle price is not too expensive. There are also individuals, so you can buy the stamps individually, and the snippet stencils, as always, are just sold individually. So I'm going to go through the stamps as always and just measure a few of those stamps. And I do this video so that you can see everything in detail. You can understand why I've bought the stamps out and how they work with previous releases. So I had a poppy stamp previously in the All and Create range, but I really wanted a poppy stamp in my collection because I adore them and I want to be able to continue using them. However, I've redrawn everything, so I redid everything. I've redone all these. So the first stamp is TE39 and it is the poppy stamp, and I'm so thrilled with it. It stamps beautifully. Now let me grab, I always have something to grab. So there are quite a few stamps on this stamp set. I also like to make sure that you get value for your pennies. So on an A6 stamp, I've really liked to add a lot of stamps on there, but without them not being usable. I need them to be usable. So what we've got is, let's turn the card over. So this is TE39 and I'm going to show you all my samples. All the samples you'll be able to make from a workshop. The workshop will also be available on the website just after midnight. So let's just peel this away. So we've got a beautiful poppy stamp here. Now this is an A6 stamp set. That doesn't mean these aren't really good sizes. So this poppy is the largest focal image. So this poppy in itself is, she says, so this poppy in itself is 4 inches in length. So that's a really good size for a stamp. It's 4 inches in length. If you think about our cards, it's the same as the width of the card, the 4 by 6 inch card. So it's a really good size. So that is the 4 inches, but then I wanted a little bit more detail, and I don't know why I'm pulling them off, because you can see here I've stamped them out for you. You can see the beautiful detail. Now I wanted one in a silhouette as well because it just gives a different feel. And then I've added these because then if you like doing sort of meadow stamping and adding little bits, I've added the little poppy buds. And then these, let me show you. These coordinate with our stencil, which is the wildflower stencil 001, which is 6 by 6 inches. Those coordinate with that, so you can add them by the side if you want. But also, of course, they also coordinate with TE26. So you can then use these with this, you can use these with them, and you can use all 3 together. So it extends those stamp designs. These poppies extend those stamp designs. These poppies extend the use of that stencil. So I do like to sort of really visualise how you can use the stamps. But because of that, it does take me a lot longer to bring out releases because I'm very slow, and also I'm a technophobe. So let's be honest, it takes me longer because I'm a technophobe. I'm not a graphic designer, you know, I'm not an artist, so everything takes me 3 times longer, and it's done in sort of a doodly form. But I'm absolutely thrilled with this stamp set. I think for an A6 stamp set, that is real value. So we've got Make Today Amazing, Poppy, Bloom, and then I've added this little stamp here. Now, yes, the text is tiny, but the idea of that is that you use it as a background. So you can use it as background text with your poppy in the background, but you can also cut it up and tuck it in little areas as well. So it says, flowers in abundance, nodding flowers above tall stems, blowing gently in the breeze. So you could cut those out individually, you could add them to a journal, or that you can tuck them with the flowers, or you can add it in the background. I've also may all your wishes come true. Imagine, celebrate, and on your special day. A very usable stamp, and I have crammed those stamps in. I do push my luck a little bit, trying to fit all those in, because I want it to be value for money for that $11.99, and I want it to be usable. I just love the detail in that. I just think it's lovely. But also, look, there's an idea for you. Stamp the flower and add the sentiment going up the stem. So just a little idea for you. And if you stamp them out, you can see exactly what you've got there, and you can put them in your little file like this. So you can place them in your file like so. Place them in your little wallet like so. And then you've got everything in your wallet, and you can just see exactly what you've got. So that is TE39. And as always, I'll show the artwork all at the end. Now, you know what I didn't do, because as per normal, yak, I didn't measure. So this is 4 inches. This one is just over 2 inches. A little bit bigger than 2 inches, so that'll be the same. These smaller ones, that is 1.5 inches. The little flower buds are 1.5 inches. And you see, because I yacked too much, I didn't measure. So then we'll come into, we're going to do the A6 first and then the A7. So TE41 is the Zinnia stamp along with the Gaura. This is the Zinnia, this is the Gaura. It's called something else now, they've changed the name, but just so you know which is which. And look, I've even got some Zinnia Queen Lime seeds to plant, which I'm hoping to do this weekend. So this is the Zinnia, and I've got the words the Zinnia here. So this is the Zinnia, and I've left this little white bit here on purpose so that when you colour, you leave this little bit of white area, and it makes it look a bit more 3D when you colour it. So that's for a reason. Beautiful detail, beautifully detailed stamp. We've got sentiments on there. There is magic all around us, the perfect moment. We've got the word Gaura for this here. I've got the word hope. Today is full of possibilities, and the Zinnia word, just so that you can see that. And there's some text in this one as well. And you can cut the petals and leave this bit as long as you stamp it, and it just gives you that 3D element. But just beautiful. This Zinnia is 3 inches in width, and top to bottom just over 2.5, just over. The Gaura is 2 3/4 inches top to bottom, but when you see it coloured, just beautiful. Now, when I do a workshop, I've done a workshop, and this one has taken me hours and hours to do, and I've not even scratched the surface of using these, not even scratched the surface. So hopefully there's lots more ideas to come. So you can now place that into your wallet. And the next is TE43 Magnolia. So what I've got a Magnolia branch. We've got some beautiful text on its own as requested. And we've got the Magnolia here. We've got the words dream, magnolia, and abundant blooms on bare branches. Now, the little branch one that you can separate, you can mask it off and use little bits if you want. It is 3.5 inches across that way. The bloom in itself, the big bloom, is 2.25 inches top to bottom. But when you add them to your project, they really make a statement. They are beautiful stamped. And the silhouette stamps, remember, you don't have to stamp them in black. You can really play around with them. I just love that. Absolutely love it. So let's place this in here. And then we've got 2 A7 stamps. Now, A7 stamps don't have to be teeny weeny stamps. These stamps are really good. So you've got TE, let's pull them out. You've got TE40 and you've got TE42. So this is TE42 with the poppy going round in an arch that says bloom and grow. And then you've got the seed heads here. And on this stamp, TE40, you've got seed head and grow your own oasis. Now for an A7 stamp, look at the size of this poppy seed head. It is, what is it? It's over 3.5 inches. It's here. No, it's 3.5 inches. So on an A7 stamp set, that is 3.5 inches on TE40. And the little poppy seed head is just over 1.5 inches. So just good sizes for an A7 stamp set. And this one, difficult to measure because it goes round in an arch, but around about 3 inches in width. But just beautiful stamps. And I think when you see them used, you will understand a lot better just how those can be used. So the little poppy going round in an arch is TE42 and the poppy seed head is TE40. Now, we've got some stencils. Now this here, this can go around the distressed arch, which is Snippet Stencil 17. So it fits around there perfectly if you want to use that together. Let's just concentrate on the stencils. Let's place this behind. Then I've got everything then just stamped out so I can look at that quite easily. We've got 7 Snippet stencils, chevrons. The chevrons are a beautiful, we can add now in the background, but it also extends stamp set TE6. So these chevrons coordinate beautifully with this because they are distressed just like this chevron itself. And a couple of the chevrons, you can stamp inside this chevron, and then you've got smaller ones as well. So it extends TE6. And also I always ask for the little cutout bits. The little chevrons are in here as well, which you'll see by my samples. Bear with me a second. Now that I'm stocking the 3x5 gel press, these work beautifully on here, which works beautifully with our 4x6 cardstock. So it's all been thought out because this sits beautifully on our 4x6 inch cardstock and leaves a border around there. So you've got all the little chevrons as well. So these are all 4x4 and the Snippet stencils are sold separately. So that is 16. 17 is the distressed arch, and it is exactly that. It is distressed, as you can see. And you'll see a couple of my samples, but it is distressed. And that's the whole point. Again, 4x4 inches. But look at the size. Just really good, usable item. So that's SS17. SS18, I had to have a pheasant. Where's my little cutout pheasant? We had to have a pheasant because it just works with so many things. And again, also, where's the stamp set? TE. It also extends TE32 that has got the pheasant on there. So it extends that beautifully. Got that many stamps out. So look at the size of the pheasant though. You've got a 4x4 stencil. Look at the size of the pheasant. So the pheasant, we're not going to go right. Well, I suppose we have to really. But if you went right to his tail, is almost the whole width of the stencil. Look, just, and it's 4 inches, but just a really good size pheasant. Now what you can do, I'll show that at the end. So you've got the pheasant. Let's just put that there. And then let's grab TE35. 34. So you've got the quirky trees, TE35, and now you've got stencils that coordinate with them. And of course, you've got the cutout bits as well. Of course, you've got the cutout bits. You've got the cutout long tree, and you've got the cutout abstract fatter tree. But also, to extend further, so let me show you. Let's open this one. So on this, let's use the back of this. So on this, you get the tree, the cutout, which you could use for Christmas. So the cutout, and you get the cutouts on that one as well. But also, you see this here? I've done a stencil with this, with all the cutout bits. However, if you take this stencil, so all the cutout bits, you've got all the cutout bits for your 3x5 gel press or whatever gel press, but let's place those back in there. Now you've got these bits here that work with this, but also you can do a stencil within a stencil. So you can add this design within this stencil here. So it works beautifully. So it's all been thought out. So let's just place this back. So what you've got then is you've got a stencil that extends TE35. You've got 3 stencils that extend. I don't really need them in the packaging. I'm putting the pheasant in there. You've got 3 stencils that extend TE35. Where's my little tree? I tend to keep the little cutout bits inside the packaging. But you've now got SS19, SS20 and SS21 that now work with the abstract trees and also stand alone. So you've got those 3 stencils there. So let's try and keep these in their order, just because I like to put them back. So put those there. And then we've got, let's place that back, TE35. Like I'll try and keep everything in order. And then I've wanted to do this stencil for ages, and I was going to bring it out on its own, and I thought I'll just bring it out the same time as these. It's SS22, and it is Snippet Stencil Bulb Mix, and it's got all the little bulbs in. Look, oh, I love the fact that we've got the bulbs. Got to make them move a little bit. There we go. You've got all the bulbs, all the cut-out pieces to the bulbs. And I bought this out purposely. Oh, you know I have to get. I bought this out to go with 24 and 25, so that it's the size in between. Hang on a minute. So you've got 24, 25, and you've got those light bulbs on here. You've also got the cutouts, so it extends those stamps, but it also extends SS8 and SS9 Snippet stencil, because you can do a bulb within a bulb. So that is here, or you can do them by the side. It extends those designs even further. So there is a reason that things are bought out, because I like it so that, let me just put these back. I like it so that you use all your previous releases properly. You really extend the use. But also, these little light bulbs are now going to go on your 3x5 gel press. And I've just ordered some more stock of those. So it works beautifully. They all work really nicely together. And you can put those all in one wallet, which I do because then I know they all came out at the same time. Obviously, you can put your bulb on with your bulb. So that is all the product, which will be available on at midnight tonight. Bear with me a second. Why does somebody ask you to verify something? Oh, dear me. Bear with me a second. I think my husband sent me a code. Let me tell him I'm recording. You can't make it up in my house, honestly. Everything happens in my house. So I'm going to show you samples now that I've created with the new product that's available just after midnight tonight. And I've created these samples and they've taken me hours and they've been a joy. But I haven't even scratched the surface of the products. So let's grab the products again. So the first sample uses this big poppy here, and it's part of workshop 119. You'll be able to buy a bundle with the workshop that's got a reduction, or you can just buy one stamp and the workshop. It's separately. It's entirely up to you. So this is my first sample using the poppies. As you can see here, they're just beautiful. And we've got the lovely little cats from TE36, and I've got the poppy typed on here just so that you can see my sample. And this is in the workshop 119. We've decorated all the back as well, but just so you can see, you don't have to make cards if you don't want, but this is using the poppy stamp. And if you just liked the poppy stamp on its own, you can make so many projects. For instance, the shadow box, and again, that's part of the workshop. We created, not we, me, I created a card to go with that, so to be like a little gift. And this card uses the small poppies here, but it also uses TE26 just here as well, just so you can see it uses TE26. So they just work beautifully together. And you remember that tiny wording I said to you? Flowers in abundance, nodding flowers above tall stems, blowing gently in the breeze. You don't have to have it all together, and you don't have to have it in the background if you don't wish. So just a couple of items there that work together beautifully with the poppy. Let's move this here. I then created a sample with the Magnolia. So this is my card with the Magnolia. But we also use TE38, which you can... TE38, which is the tree. And it's got that lovely text as well. So I use TE38. Shall I have to remember the numbers? So I've used TE38 on there, and you can see that beautiful text that comes with the Magnolia. But just so you can see that. Just love that. All one layer, apart from the sentiment. But just so you can see the project. Just love that. The Magnolia is just beautiful. So then we will place that way. So then I have the poppy. It doesn't have to be red. It can be other colours. So I've created the poppy here with blue, but I've also used my beautiful pheasant. Isn't he lovely? And you've got those text there, flowers in abundance, nodding flowers above tall stems. Just beautiful. But isn't he lovely? Just so that he's just lovely, isn't he? And there you've got the little pheasant that coordinates beautifully with that. I really love him. So again, these are all in the workshop. Then, which one? So creating using the smaller poppies here, just to show you sort of like the meadow type stamping. I've created this again in the workshop, and again there's that wording, but just so you can see the detail, just beautiful. Absolutely love them. And then creating the poppies on a card, and I've added an extra leaf here as well. But I just love them. I just think they are gorgeous. One dimensional, there is no dimension on there, but you can create dimension so that it looks 3D. But I just adore that. Absolutely love that. I will obviously be showing these samples on social media over the coming days, just so that you can really zoom in, etc. But I like to do this video just so that you can see everything in real detail. I've now used the Magnolia, the chevron stencil, and number 6, TE6, just so you can see that. I absolutely loved creating these, but it does take me a lot of hours, but I loved creating them. And that's what I love about a silhouette stamp. It gives you so many options. It really does. It really gives lots of options. Again, all part of Workshop 119. We've then got the Zinnia. Got our Zinnia here. Just added, and you can see those chevrons in the background. Again, one dimensional apart from the sentiment. But you've just added that to a beautiful background, which works really lovely. Just so you can see that. Works really nicely. And then I wanted to incorporate the distressed arch, and I wanted to use TE42, you know, the little A7 stamp. So our little A7 stamp, I wanted to incorporate this, but there it's stamped in black, but I've added it here to the distressed arch. And then I've added the poppies from TE39. Little bit of TE34 here, and our little cat from TE36. Just so that you can see that, a little bit of dimension on there. And again, all part of the workshop 119. I also wanted to show the other reason that I created this stamp. So I wanted to show the other reason that I created this stamp. It was so that you can dangle things from it, just like the light bulb stencil, SS22. So you can dangle things from that now, and I wanted it for that reason. You've got the little tag from Alpha Florals, TE32, and again the pheasant from TE32, mixed with the new release and the new stencil. Just love it. Absolutely love that. But again, it's all one dimensional apart from this little tag and the wording. But I really love that with that dangling from the poppy. Of course, I had to use the little seed heads, which are not so little. So I've used the poppy seed heads in a vintage card here. Again, part of the workshop. And I've incorporated the little hair and the chevrons. I love it. Just love that. But I love all the varying colours as well. But I've done all these cards and I've not touched the surface. So I've done all these cards in the workshop. I've still got a couple of cards to add really, because in the workshop I've still got backgrounds that we can use as well, just in our workshop. So there's backgrounds that we can still use as well in the workshop. And then finally, my other sample is using the Magnolia. Again, you can dangle something from the branch, and we're sitting the little blackbird from TE30, the little blackbird on the branch of the Magnolia. Just love that. Absolutely love it. Just so you can see that. So I hope you like the samples. I mean, I've loved creating them, but there is lots and lots more to come. You know me by now. You know that I don't bring out stamps and stencils and not offer inspiration. There will be Thrinchies, there will be combinations of old and new, there will be an abundance of artwork. You can also look out for the design team. We've got Lynn Lindsay, you've got Anne Young, Lucy Edmondson, Rebecca Jane, we've got Victoria, we've got Patricia, and I did say Anne Young, didn't I? Yes, Patricia, just trying to remember not to forget Victoria Wilding. They all produce wonderful work and different work to what I produce, which is the whole point. They are totally different to me, and they offer lots of inspiration. Look out for Lisa Magic Maker. She's doing some samples as well to show you. And Heidi Walker will also be doing a YouTube video. Look out for that. And also Heidi's friend as well. Bear with me. Let me just check. Oh, I don't like to forget anybody's name. It's just, I don't. Let me just grab. And also Nicola Moss. So look out for those ladies who are also doing samples. I want you to absorb and enjoy your product, and that's why I've got so many people creating samples for you and offering inspiration. Inspiration is key for me. So is education. It's so important. These products are worth nothing if there's no education. So as always, there's a workshop completely fully detailed, going through everything in masses of detail, and there's obviously lots more inspiration to come, but the design team are already posting their artwork now to inspire you, and these are available just after midnight, and they will be there when you wake up in the morning as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you love the designs as much as I do. Love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.